Okay, so for our first card, we have the Five of Wands. This is Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, and Pisces Rising. So this is definitely a card of confusion, struggles, and conflicts. Now, so some of you could definitely be struggling, maybe even confused in regards to certain situations or just in general. But a lot of times I tend to associate conflict with this card. And it's like so much conflict that it's like we don't even remember why we started arguing with, someone in particular or a group of people, because it starts and then it just like it just turns and morphs into something completely different. And it's like, 100 arguments later and you're like, why did we even start arguing? So this is definitely a very tough energy to be going through. It's not the worst energy, so let's put that out there real quick. This is not the worst energy, but it is definitely one that is conflictive, so to speak. Excuse me. So again, confusion, struggling, and potential conflicts with others. For some of you, this could even be within yourself. And it is clarified by the Priestess. So this is like our inner voice, our higher mind, our intuition, that gut feeling. This is us knowing what we need to do. This is us already having the answers to all of the questions that we have, especially in regards to this confusion, these struggles, and these conflicts. We already know what we should do. And we already have the answers, so to speak. It's just, are we listening? But there's always a bit of mystery that surrounds the Priestess. So, there could be a certain situation which there could be mystery surrounding, and this could be adding to the confusion. But you need to realize you need to just look within to find the answers, because they are there. Okay, so this would be your circumstances, and we have the Five of Cups. So we have 2 5s to start with. So this immediately tells me that you guys are definitely going through some transitions. So yeah, this is not the greatest energy either. So this is definitely a card of an emotional loss. So this is where we've gone through a loss of some kind, This could be losing something or someone that we've been attached to. Sometimes we can feel pretty disillusioned and maybe even regretting certain things. Sometimes this can be representing broken dreams. But overall, this is a loss, and it does have some emotional pain. So there is a grieving process that goes with this card, and it is okay to give in and grieve. Grieve so that you can deal with this and so that we can move forward, because there is still hope. Things will get better in the future. And trust me, if you feel like the first 5 cards are negative, just hang on, okay? Because I promise you guys, it's going to get better. It really is. It's going to get better. So, yes, this definitely indicates that you guys have gone through something, that brought a loss. So, again, just go ahead and grieve. Everybody does this differently, so do what you have to do. This is grief, loss, heartache. Sometimes it can be really hard to express these painful emotions, but just realize that sorrow does take a little time to heal, so just go with the flow, do what you need to do to heal. But just remember that, the sun will come out tomorrow. It always does, okay? And things are going to get better. So just hang on, it's going to get better, especially by the end of the month. It's going to get better. Oh, I apologize if you heard that background noise. That'd be my husband blowing his nose. Okay, so it is clarified by the Six of Coins in reverse. So typically I associate this card as like a charity card. It is also a card of receiving a bonus, but when this card is in the reverse position, we might have had our heart set out on, receiving something in particular, or say a certain amount, and then either we don't get what we had hoped for and counted on, or if we do get it, then it's like there's an offer, but then there's strings attached to it. Yeah, so, sometimes this can be about getting loans. So perhaps maybe some of you could have been approved, but maybe it wasn't near as much as you needed, or maybe you didn't get approved at all. So this can definitely cause some, upset, for sure. Sometimes this can indicate the unfair distribution of an estate, a will. So this may resonate with a few of you if you have lost someone, and this is where the grief and loss is coming from. And perhaps maybe you might have been set to receive something in their will, and then maybe things are being handled unfairly and you're not getting what you were supposed to get or what you were promised. So that will resonate with a few of you. If that doesn't resonate with you, then please don't take it as you're going to lose someone, because with this being the circumstances card, this would be something that you're already going through. So if you haven't lost somebody, please don't take that energy on and think that you will. Okay? All right. Just want to be clear. Okay, so now we have the circumstances position. We have the Three of Coins in the reverse position. Okay, so this card is definitely about having to work as a team. This could also be about going, maybe some of you have started taking some online courses, or perhaps maybe enrolled in college. Yeah, but when this card is in the reverse position, this is definitely indicating that, first and foremost, it can be indicating that we need to learn more skills. But this can also be indicating that perhaps, especially if you work as a team, whether at your job or on a creative project, financial project, whatever it is, if you have to work as a team with other people, this could definitely be indicating that, you guys are not seeing eye to eye. Communication is not occurring how it needs to be occurring. People could just be at odds with each other. Now, sometimes this card can indicate that we're not doing the best of our ability when it comes to our work specifically. So, yeah, so shoddy craftsmanship, so to speak. Maybe this can be indicating that perhaps maybe we haven't really learned what we've needed to learn. Maybe we've been a bit resistant. Now, this could potentially be indicating for some of you contractual or union type disagreements. And whenever I see this card, especially if you have a job where there is union, then, this can indicate that, negotiations are possible, but it just doesn't seem likely in the present moment right now that things are going to go the way you would like them to. And on occasion, this card can actually indicate that there could be unsafe work conditions. So, yeah, if that resonates with you, you definitely want to pay attention to that one. We definitely shouldn't be working in places that are not safe, especially if the business, the company is not listening to us. Because we're not going to be able to do the best of our ability if we're constantly having to fear for our life, if you get my drift. So that'll resonate with a couple of you. Okay, so it is clarified by the Sun in the reversed position. So the optimism is definitely dropping away with the Sun in the reversed position here. But most of all, the Sun is about a delay. So it's definitely showing that things are being delayed. Perhaps maybe progress, movement has slowed way down. Maybe it appears that it's not moving along at all. But most of all, this is about a delay in regards to achieving an accomplishment of some sorts. Now, for some of you, this could be indicating that perhaps maybe you could have a marriage at a crossroads. And if that resonates with you, then this could potentially have been like a third party type of situation where there could have been some unfaithfulness involved. So, yeah. So this would definitely be a card of, things are being put on hold because we really need to think about things, is this something we really want to continue putting our time and our energy into? For some of you, this could be indicating that perhaps maybe you're not doing the best job that you could because perhaps maybe you're lacking that self-esteem and that self-confidence. And come on, Pisces, you guys gotta have that confidence. I know that a lot of people try to put you guys down, but you can't listen to those people. You can't, okay? Everybody has an opinion, but it doesn't make it a fact, okay? And I know that some people will literally, especially people that are close to us sometimes, they can really pound those things into our head. And don't listen, you need to be confident. You are capable of doing whatever you set your mind to. But don't let people get into your head and make you think that you cannot do it. Okay? Oh, people need to stop messing with my Pisces, okay? Oh. Sometimes this can also be about being stuck on a particular childhood memory as well. And this is kind of why I brought up, sometimes people close to us, maybe our parents, maybe our siblings, maybe they can be making us feel like we are just not worthy, like We're never going to be able to pull this off. We're never going to be able to do things right. We're never going to amount to anything. You need to ignore those people, Pisces. I don't care how much you love them, how close you are to them. If they are trying to instill those negative thoughts and those things into you, and they've been doing it, this message is for you. You need to stop listening to that. You need to listen to your own higher mind. You need to listen to your own intuition. Okay? Don't listen to what you've been told that's negative. It's going to be okay. It really is. But I just want you guys to see your own worth. You guys need to step into your own personal power. And look, with Neptune now retrograde, Neptune is literally snatching the veil off of our eyes, and we are starting to see the truth. So where we have been caught up, with illusions, some of us have been in relationships where, they've been an illusion, and now it's like the veil getting, snatched away from our eyes, and we're seeing things as they really are. Don't ignore this energy, Pisces. You guys are ruled by Neptune. And so this is really important for you guys to, definitely pay attention when those illusions are shattered and exposed. You need to be paying attention and take the appropriate reaction. But most of all, you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. Don't listen to the negative crap people try to push your way. Some people don't know how to make themselves feel any better beyond putting other people down. And that's really, really sad for them, But unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that in this world. But you guys are so very sensitive. And I just don't want you guys taking that energy on. And you don't need to keep carrying it because it's an illusion. You are fully capable. And you need to find your optimism. You need to find that confidence within yourself. You need to step into your own personal power. And this is the time, Pisces. I know that you guys have been going through delays. That was very obvious last month, and it's definitely still in play right now. But I'm telling you, things are going to get better. You'll see. But it's very obvious that you guys are lacking the self-confidence right now. We go through things, and sometimes certain things don't work out. We don't want to just give up and sit down and mope and think, okay, it's just never going to work out. No, don't do that. Okay? That's the time where you need to be like, okay, well, that didn't work out, so you know what? I'm going to take my energy and I'm going to redirect it, and I'm going to go after, something different. Sometimes we are, denied certain things. And trust me, if we are denied certain things that we've tried getting over and over and over, and we just keep getting denied, delayed, sometimes that happens for a very good reason, and we just can't see it in the moment. But those things happen sometimes to literally save our rear end in the end. But we don't realize that until a few years down the line. So I just want to make sure that you guys, you need to lift up that optimism. You need to be optimistic. You need to find that confidence. This is the most important thing for you guys this month, Pisces. I know that these delays and things just kind of being at a standstill is very, very frustrating. But some of you are just getting totally discouraged. And I don't want you to be. You need to find that confidence within, because it is time for you to bring this Sun card up to the upright position. It's time for you guys to shine, Pisces. It really is. And you need to believe in yourself. I believe in you. I want you to believe in you as well. Okay? No joke. I'm being serious. I love you guys. I'm a Virgo, so you know you guys are my opposite. So I definitely feel a special affinity for you guys, and a lot of times I feel like I need to protect you. You know, not all of you need protecting, but you know, I can't stand to see Pisces people be taken advantage of, because you guys have such good hearts and you guys will just do just about anything to help other people, and so many people will just take advantage of that, and I don't like that. I don't like seeing that happen to you guys, and I don't like seeing people, you know, put you down and tell you you're not ever going to make it, you know, this is all you're ever going to amount to be. No, I reject that. That doesn't work for me. We're not going to tolerate it. You guys are going to find your confidence. It's coming. This is going to happen. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I know I'm kind of going on and on and on, but you know, this is just so important. I love you guys, and I don't want you guys getting down, and I feel like so many of you are just down, and you're just losing all that confidence. And some of you are suffering from low self-esteem, and you don't need to be. Listen, you're beautiful. And I believe in you guys. I need you to do the same. Okay, so this was your recent past. So, yeah, this is a cycle that's come to an end. 10 of Swords in reverse. So this is definitely a loss of some sort that you went through. This can also kind of be like an experience where we literally feel like we're stabbed in the back. So, you know, betrayals, deceptions, you know, a loss of some sort. You know, this could be like getting a divorce. You know, this can be, you know, losing material items. This can be losing friends, or having it out with a family member, or, you know, a business partner or a coworker. Losing a job. You know, this could be many different things, but it's in the reverse position, so it shows that the healing process has happened, okay? And so we're moving forward. Okay, so it's clarified by the King of Cups. So either you guys are taking on this King's energy here in the past, or perhaps maybe this loss had something to do with the King of Cups. The King of Cups is in the upright position, so this is a very positive thing. The King of Cups is a very emotional man, but he is not one that you would be able to guess that. It's like the emotions are controlled, they're restrained. It's like there's very deep emotions, but you know, they lie just beneath the surface, so that you'll never be able to see it on their face or in their body language, because they control it very well. But there is still a very highly, deeply emotional nature. The King of Cups is a man that can be a very good counselor. He knows how to handle the very difficult emotions and emotional situations and crises. He knows how to handle these with a lot of compassion. He's also a teacher. He's a leader. He can also be involved in, you know, religions. So I feel like this is probably you guys taking this energy on. Like, I'm not going to let this loss get the better of me. I'm going to stay composed and move forward. And for some of you, this could be, for some of you, this could have been an older person, male or female. Maybe some of you, had an older family member pass away in your recent past. If that resonates with you, my deepest condolences. I'm sorry. I had to mention it because it is a possibility. And again, King of Cups, this can be male or female. We always see kings, queens, knights, pages, princesses, whatever. But, they can be any gender. Okay, now, this will be your present, the here, the now energy. We have the King of Coins. So this is very, very, very excellent, especially in regards to financial advice. So you guys could either be dealing with someone like this, or some of you could be actually trying to channel this King's energy. So it can go either way. But the King of Coins, this is the man that you want to get any type of financial advice from. This man or woman, they know how to make money. They know how to make wealth, okay? And thankfully it's in the upright position, so we are doing this, legally and ethically. But most of all, a King of Coins, he is a leader. And he has a desire to help other people. He has no problem giving you advice and trying to show you how to make financial security and wealth for yourself. This is a very good card. Very, very, very good card. He could also, if this is actually a person that is in your life right now, he could be a banker. He could be a broker, like real estate broker. He could be a veterinarian. He could be an entrepreneur, just a businessman in general. But trust me, this is a man that knows how to make money. He knows how to make money. Excuse me, man or woman. So it is clarified by the Three of Cups. So first and foremost, anytime I see the Three of Cups, especially in the reverse, this to me can definitely indicate overindulgence, overdoing a good thing, overdoing a good time. This is where maybe we might be doing some excessive partying. Maybe we might be drinking a little bit too much alcohol. Maybe we might be taking a few too many prescription medication pills, or maybe even recreational drugs for some of you. But no matter what, this is definitely indicating overindulgence. So for some of you, maybe you're drinking too much Coca-Cola, Although typically I associate alcohol more, with this card, but overindulgence in general, so if we're doing too much of something in general and we're overdoing it, this can cause issues. But I feel like this is mostly like alcohol or drugs, as far as overdoing, overindulging. And a lot of times with this particular card, especially with it being alcohol, perhaps maybe we might have a little too much to drink, and maybe we might make some poor decisions. Maybe there might be arguments taking place. So, we could actually be feeding into this more than we realize. And sometimes this card can be about gossip, okay? So, maybe normally you wouldn't say something, but maybe you were just partying a bit too hard, and maybe you might have said something that you normally wouldn't have said while, not intoxicated, but yeah. So if that resonates with you, you might want to apologize, try to work things out, make things better, take accountability for your end of things, I'm not saying that you're completely responsible, okay? Because this could be you, or this could be someone else. It can go either way. So whomever is overindulging and potentially gossiping is going to owe an apology of some sort. Sometimes this can be about, just simply talking without thinking, so like alcohol, liquid courage. It doesn't have to involve, alcohol or drugs. Sometimes we can just literally talk without thinking, and, this can end up, causing problems, even though we didn't mean for it to, but it just kind of morphs into that. So we definitely need to learn our lesson there. But, overall, this is about, hey, it's time to take control of yourself. We don't want to overindulge. We don't want to gossip. We don't want to give in to, impulsive speaking, without thinking first. We just need to recognize and bring all of these excess things under control, get it under control. And this is also a card where it's very, very important to communicate. So, especially with the person that you might have said something about, especially if you care about this person, yeah, there's definitely a need to communicate. And I mean, this is definitely obvious from the start that, there needs to be some communication. Perhaps maybe you might need to ask someone that you trust to help mediate, so that you can try to work your issues out, but definitely take accountability for your part. I'm not saying you're completely wrong in the whole entire situation, but you need to at least own your part in it, and then let them own their part, Okay, so this would be the near future. So we have the Hanged Man. This is the Neptune card. So, this is I love this card. Not everybody does, but that's okay. So you guys are quite familiar with this type of energy. This is where we're considering making sacrifices that we haven't made before. We could be considering making a complete reversal of lifestyle. This is about us having a complete spiritual awareness and break through. And it's also about, you know, a new awareness, a new level of consciousness, so to speak. And it's definitely surrendering and letting go. You know, some situations we do need to just relinquish that control. You know, we just need to sacrifice it and release. This is also a card of prophecy and psychic abilities. So some of you already clearly have those. So you could see your psychic abilities or prophetic abilities increase even more. And for some of you that this is just starting, this is definitely something I would recommend that you continue going after. You know, just allow it to happen, you know. I mean, sometimes it can be pretty painful to have to walk away from certain situations, you know, and just let go and surrender. But, you know, there is always a much better situation you know, further down the line, because this always brings us a new start. And it's a new start that has a higher purpose for us. You know, we can't stay here, you know, because this is like a temporary moment of stasis here, but we cannot stay like this, only temporarily. So for some of you, this could be about, you know, just simply finding your place in the spiritual world. Some of you, this might be about, you know, doing some type of work that will help benefit, you know, others or humanity in general. But overall, this is about us accepting the very situation in which he is tied to. We need to let it go. We need to surrender. We need to allow this change to happen. You know, a lot of times this can also be like a transformation of sorts, you know, but one that is necessary. So there's always a situation in which he is tied to, and we need to let it go. And trust me, there is great power in surrendering and letting go. We just don't always see it, but it happens. I mean, trust me, I have personally witnessed the miracles that can happen by surrendering and letting go. But, you know, I got a Scorpio moon, so, you know, I want to control things, but but I have learned, you know, sometimes I just need to take a step back and give that over to God, you know, or, you know, the universe, you know, the divine source, however you want to look at it. But, you know, when we do that, you know, this is where we can see miracles happen, you know, but ultimately this always leads us down a new path. Well, this is very, very positive, Pisces. This just got a whole lot better. So here we have the Knight of Wands. This is excellent. Absolutely excellent. So the Knight of Wands always brings changes, okay? But these changes are always very, very positive. So typically, you know, these can be like unexpected opportunities that come your way. Sometimes they can literally come out of left field, like you are just completely, surprised, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. But, this could be an opportunity, say, this could be a financial opportunity. This could be an opportunity for a new job. A lot of times, especially with this card, we see that a change of residence comes up here a lot. Not for all of you, because not every Pisces sun, moon, and rising is exactly alike. Not all of you want to move. So for some of you, this will be indicating that you will be moving. Now, sometimes this can be about going on an adventure. Sometimes this can be about journeying, traveling. For some of us, this could be more within the mind. Some of this could actually be physical travel. But no matter what, when this energy comes into your life, this energy is always for the best. It brings positive changes to our life. It brings us opportunities to change our life, okay? So get ready, Pisces. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. But, you're going to have to, let go and surrender that situation, which the Hanged Man is tied to. So just remember that, because the moment that we do allow that process to be complete and we surrender the situation in which the Hanged Man is tied to, this is when the Knight of Wands energy will come in, and the opportunities, the changes, they will be positive that come our way. But you need to believe. You need to believe. Okay, so this would be your attitude. So we have the Ace of Cups. So this is a very positive card. So I always look at this card as like blessings from above. Sorry about that. This card can also be, again, about our psychic abilities. For some, these could just now be unfolding and beginning to blossom for some of you. And for some of you who are very aware of your abilities, you could see them being accelerated. So definitely growing, expanding. A lot of times, though, this card is about opening our heart to new emotions, a new romance, possibly a new beginning of some sort. But no matter what it is, it's good, it's positive, it's wonderful. Whatever the Ace of Cups is representing is definitely positive. This can also indicate for some of you that this could be the conception or the birth of a child. So for some of you, this could be a birth of a child through your family, or perhaps one of your friends, or even yourself. And conception, well, that could happen to you, or, to someone in your family, or one of your friends. So there can always be, the birth or the conception here. But this is definitely about you desire happiness. This is where you are. You desire this happiness, and you deserve it. And it is clarified by the Three of Swords. So with this card, let me tell you, okay. So up to this point, I have seen 3 threes. So this is definitely leading me to believe that some of you have potentially gone through a relationship situation where there has been a third party issue. So unfaithfulness, cheating. That's going to resonate with some of you. Okay? I'm sorry if that is your situation, but you deserve better, and you need to realize this. Okay? You deserve better. You don't need to stay in a situation or a relationship like that. Because once trust is broken, it is hard to get that back. For some, it's impossible, but at the end of the day, you got to do what is best for you, and only you know that. Okay, so. But typically, in this particular position, this could just be indicating that you are just dissatisfied with the present, or the outcome of a situation. So you could definitely be dissatisfied in regards to how a situation turns out. And sadness is definitely present. But just know that you're going to work through this difficult time a lot quicker than you thought you would. And sometimes when we see this can definitely indicate that an apology could be forthcoming. Sometimes this can be about, a mediator, a peacemaker can definitely come in and help us, mediate through a situation so that we can find, peace again. So that's a possibility. So, yeah. Definitely seems to be quite a few cards that are indicating, apologies. And again, this could either be you giving the apology or being on the receiving end, so receiving an apology. Or, it could be a little of both. Maybe a situation you're in, both of you need to apologize. I mean, it can go, those three different ways. So, okay, so this is how other people see you. We have the Two of Swords in the reversed position. So this is a card of we were going through a period of indecision. We were having a hard time making our mind up in regards to, what should I choose? What shall I do? So this definitely indicates that we have made a decision. And it's always a decision that is one that is a bit of emotional nature, because we see the water here in the background, and the water is always symbolic of emotions. So it's always a decision that we have to make that is a tad emotional for us. But the decision was made. And here we go. Yet again, another card that is indicating, a potential apology coming. So now, especially this card has a lot to do with the whole truth and nothing but, and it comes to the surface. So it's like the desire to communicate it is so strong that, someone may just be like, hey, I did this and I need to apologize because I didn't mean it. I'm really sorry. So yeah, this is definitely a card where an apology is forthcoming. I mean, not always. Some of you may not get it, but I'm feeling that most of you will. But this card can also indicate that there could be some sudden events. And those sudden events could have a bit of a strange twist that might be coming into your life here real soon. So, but just know that whatever these are, they will be sudden and unexpected, but these always are for the best. So whatever, this situation, this event is, with the strange twist, just know that it will turn out for the best in the end, okay? Sometimes this can indicate a bit of unpredictable behavior. So this could be you, or this could even be perhaps a child, a younger person, it could be a teenager, could be, someone that is younger than you, that perhaps could be acting in a very unpredictable way. For some of you, this could be about dealing with the teenager. And, well, of course, teenagers, they like to have their periods where they like to rebel. And, it can be quite frustrating, but the key is communication. Communication, communication, communication. This is the key. Keep the communication open. And for some of you, this could be indicating that maybe you've been trying to decide, should you apologize to someone? That'll resonate with some of you. Okay, so this is our hopes and our fears position. So we have the Two of Coins. This is a card of where we are definitely juggling. It's like a juggling act, especially in regards to financial issues, situations. Sometimes we can literally be juggling multiple jobs. Sometimes we're juggling, a job and then, issues that are going on within our personal life or within our family, home life. So just know that on occasion some disappointing news can come through, but you don't want to let it cause you to lose your balance in any way, shape, or form, because it's not going to affect you like that. But again, we are with the hopes and fears, so this could be subconscious or consciously. You might be consciously aware of this. But this man has no problem juggling these coins here. And you can do it too. Okay, so yeah. So this definitely seems more like a fear. So we have the Queen of Coins in the reverse position. So when she shows up in reverse, then we definitely know that there's, a material, financial loss of some sort. And again, we are just dealing with hopes and fears, and this seems more like a fear. So some of you could be subconsciously fearing going through a material or financial loss. Maybe you feel like you can't pull off this whole juggling act. Well, don't self-sabotage yourself like that, Don't let that fear, don't feed into that fear, okay? Just don't do it. Now, with the Queen of Coins in reverse, she's like overly dependent on others for her own well-being. And a lot of times she tends to neglect her responsibilities. And it's all due to insecurity and fear. She's also very suspicious by nature. And she's definitely seen some hard financial times in her life. And, well, she just might see more, because under this particular energy here, this can indicate, appearing to be needy. And she appears needy so that she can manipulate funds to acquire things that she doesn't really need. So, yeah, this is definitely not any type of energy that we want to give into. But some of you could be fearing dealing with someone like this. Some of you could be potentially fearing becoming like this, or people looking at you like you're like this. But again, you know, this is hopes or fears. So these can be operating at a conscious level or subconscious, you know, and we don't always realize, especially if it's subconscious. But I'm here to tell you that you most definitely can handle more than one thing at the same time. You are capable of juggling without losing balance. You can do it, okay? Just don't feed into the fear, and definitely don't fall prey into manipulating others or being overly dependent. Okay, so for the final outcome, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So, what does the Queen of Wands not have that she has in the upright position? And that is self-confidence. In the upright position, she believes in herself. She's very confident. She does not have that when she is in the reverse position. So the Queen of Wands is in the reverse. She's definitely gone through a setback, a delay. She's gone through something, sometimes a loss. She's not handling it well. Sometimes this is where our more aggressive side could come out. Sometimes this can be, you know, being moody. Sometimes this can be us being overly pushy, a bit arrogant. Yeah. But most of all, this is showing a lack of self-confidence. You know, she's not believing in herself. And again, we've already seen this theme in your guys' reading this month. And that's why I've been banging on how important it is for you guys to believe in yourself. Just because we go through, you know, these frustrations and these delays and these setbacks, that doesn't mean, you know, just sit down and give up. That means, you know, just refocus, tweak your plans if you have to, and get right back up and get right back out there and go after your goals, okay? Don't give up. Do not give up. Now, you know, this could be indicating your energy, and I feel that it is for most of you, but for some of you, you could be dealing with someone like this. And if so, they could be male or female, and they would be very domineering, pushy, arrogant, kind of aggressive. Okay, but this is clarified by the Six of Cups, so this is absolutely beautiful. So the Six of Cups, this is about us looking back on our past. You know, that whole nostalgia type of feeling where we're looking back and we're having good memories of our past, of our childhood. You know, this is also a card of our siblings. It's also a card of, like, our cousins. This can also be a card of, you know, people who have ties to, say, like our hometown. Maybe they went to the same high school as you did, you know. But no matter what, this card brings an opportunity. An opportunity comes from someone in your past. And they just want to help. And so definitely be on the lookout for an opportunity that's going to come from someone that has ties to your past. For some of you, you may not know this person, but you may find out that maybe they lived in the same hometown you were born in, or maybe they went to the same high school as you did. It was just, 5 years earlier or 5 years later, or whatever it may be. But there's always a tie to your past in some way, shape, or form. So this person brings an opportunity to you because they want to help you. And I would say definitely take this opportunity, Pisces. Take this opportunity because it feels like it's going to be a very good, positive opportunity, especially if you can drop those self-limiting beliefs. Okay? Have the confidence. Just because we go through setbacks and delays and frustrations and things like that, that doesn't mean give up. We cannot be losing confidence just because we're, going through constant delays. Those delays happen for a very good reason. I'm telling you. It's kind of like Spirit's protection for us. Whether you realize it or not, it is a form of protection when we experience those delays and it just doesn't seem to be happening. But yes, very much an opportunity coming from someone who has ties to your past in some way, shape, or form. This could also be a sibling, a cousin, a family member. This could even be a friend of a sibling, cousin, family member. Or again, just having ties to your past, maybe your hometown, maybe your, one of your schools that you went to. But most of all, they just want to help. Now, for the bottom of the deck, look at this. This is a thing of beauty here. 10 of coins. So this is the card that we want. This is the card of making money, finances improving. This could be indicating for some of you that you could very well end up landing that job that you've wanted to have, that is going to be very secure. Maybe it's a good job that provides benefits and maybe even like a retirement plan or whatever it may be. So any type of business that is represented by the 10 of coins is one that is very solid, very stable, very structured. So these would be like large corporations. This can also be like family-based type businesses where they are passed from generation to generation to generation. It's, positive all the way around because this definitely indicates money coming, and most likely through a job. This is the card of victory, Pisces. This is victory. I mean, just look at this card. Is this not beautiful? He is like, yeah, I did it. So, yeah, this is about us putting a lot of hard work, a lot of time into accomplishing a goal that we set out to achieve. And we did it. We did it. And we come back and we emerge victorious. And a lot of times there can be awards or recognition of some sort. But ultimately, this is the card of victory. So if you guys have been looking for a job or financial type of opportunities, let me tell you, things are about to get really good, okay? It's going to play out over the month, and for some of you, this could even spill over into part of August, but some of you, this will occur rather quickly. So everybody's a little bit different. So this is positive, absolutely positive. So, okay, for our love oracle cards, this will be for the single Pisces, sun, moon, and rising signs. So for the first one, this is love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And well, this is very, very true. Because if you don't love yourself first, then how can we love anybody else? That's very, very true. But some of you have been programmed to think otherwise. And that's why I say we gotta stop. We don't want to do that. Ooh. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And this is very true because right now, June, July, August, those 3 months combined, during this period, our ability to manifest is going to be much higher, okay? A lot higher. I'm serious. It's because we've got 3 new moons that are all super new moons. So for those of you who don't know what that means, that means the earth, the moon is actually closer to the earth. And it's like a trinity, a triad. It's happened for June, it's going to happen for July, and it's going to happen in August. Yep. And this is a card of manifestation, basically. And what it's saying is we can get what we want very soon, but we need to be very clear about what we want, and we need to be very, very detailed about what we want. So, for instance, if you were to say, hey, universe, I want a good guy, well, then the universe could bring you a good guy, but then all of a sudden, you're in a few months and then you start finding out he's got all these little secrets, maybe he's got, gambling problems or, whatever, but, this is why we need to be very, very specific about what we want. We don't want to just say something like, oh, I just want a good guy. No, you want a good guy that is healthy, that's going to treat you like a queen, or you want a guy or a woman that's going to treat you like a king, and you want to be very specific about what you want. You want them to be healthy. You want them to be positive. You want them to be faithful, loyal, honest. Be very, very clear about what you want. And this is the time. Ooh, okay. So past life relationship. You have known each other before. So this tells me that for you single Pisces, love just might find you over the coming months. And more than likely, this relationship is going to have, past life relationship. And this is ultimately about us needing to clear up some karma. So, don't take that as, 100% negative, but it's just a relationship where we had karma from a past life and we're still working on it in this life, so that's why we meet back up. So, especially with this, you might have those feelings of like, I feel like I already know you, or I've known you before. A lot of times we can see those things like telepathy between the two people. So this is definitely showing like soulmate, energy, kindred energy, kindred spirit energy, things of that nature. Okay, so these will be for the Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs that are married or in a relationship. Ooh, let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Yeah, so some of you could be pushing for more of a commitment. Some of you could be just pushing on, you know, certain situations within the relationship, you know, and this is where we need to just let go of control, you know, surrender, let go. Whatever happens, happens, you know. If it comes to an end, then it was meant to be. If it survives and gets better, then it was meant to be. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Okay, so with this particular card, this is definitely indicating that some of you probably, you know, well, I mean, this could be about some of you who are even married, but I mean, this could even be about some of you who are just in like a fresh new relationship, and perhaps maybe you might be stuck on one of your exes, and maybe you have been for quite some time. And that card is coming out saying you need to release that ex. You need to release that energy and clear it from your own auric field, okay? Because sometimes the person that we're with, our significant other, can actually pick up on the other person being in your auric field, and then they know that like something is off, something's not right, like he or she is not fully committing or devoted to me. You know, things don't always have to be spoken, but they could still be picked up on. And so if this resonates with you, this is definitely saying, hey, you need to deal with that. You need to find your closure so that you can clear your energy and be done with it. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Well, yeah, this could be causing some difficulties, especially if you might be working too much, not working enough. Maybe finances could be pretty inadequate right now. Maybe we're having a hard time making ends meet. But if that's the issue, well, you know, things are definitely going to get better. So they're going to get better. And romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So yeah, this would definitely be more geared towards those of you who are in relationships that are somewhat newer relationships. And, you know, the romantic feelings are there, but maybe you're just kind of holding back, wondering, should I allow myself to give in and truly feel this? You know, should I? Shouldn't I? That's a question that only you can answer. But you definitely need to explore your feelings, for sure. Okay, it is positive affirmation time. Okay. Messenger of Earth. That should be money. Hardworking, proceeding with integrity, perseverance and grit, prudent and careful efforts, thoroughness, industriousness, stamina, and dedication. I am in the flow, committed to co-creating with spirit effectively and efficiently. I do my best and never leave a job half done. I am dedicated and determined, knowing my efforts will pay off. Yes. Cool. I love this card. Page of Fire. Enthusiastic action, adventurousness, venturing forth, beginning a project, and acting on a new idea. I am free to venture forth for co-creating a life true to my desire is my right. I am finding my purpose as I take the first step into something new. My ideas have value. I dream boldly. That's very, very positive. Justice. Justice. Karma. The law of cause and effect is in play now. As I see elements in my life balance out, what goes around comes around. I'm now seeing evidence of this law in the condition of my world. That's right. So just know that, especially if you have been done wrong, you need to realize that things are being taken care of by karma, and you will begin to see this. Ooh. Call. Which is basically the Judgment card, but they call it something different in this deck. Purpose and true prosperity. I have everything I need right now to move forward with purpose. I'm being called into a deeper and more authentic relationship with myself and with my higher power and with others. I am here for a reason. I'm required to step forward into my true self, expressing that through my actions, I need to trust that my life has purpose, that I am enough. That's right, Pisces. You are enough. And that within me is a divine blueprint that has meaning for myself and others. So, yeah, you definitely need to trust that your life has purpose and that you are enough. You are. Okay, keep your head up because things are going to get so much better, Pisces. I know you're still going through those delays, but they are definitely coming to an end. Opportunities coming in through someone who has ties to your past, potentially, sibling, cousin, family relation, or someone, who just in general has ties to your past in some way, shape, or form, leading to financial victory. So stay positive. Things are happening. It's going to get better.